Hello again, and welcome to another episode. We are now on episode 10 of the fifth season of the Inner Success Story podcast. You will find all the other episodes on the same platform that you are listening to this on, if you are listening to the podcast episode version of it, or alternatively on YouTube if you are watching the video version. So today we're talking about auditing the damage in a toxic relationship, because there is this period of time that happens when you have lost the identity that you have had before. You have lost an element of that and you are still re-establishing who you are. And for some people, that will be you're re-establishing it because you used to have a different version of yourself that has now disappeared and been squashed in some way throughout your relationship, or you are establishing who you are brand new for the first time. And certainly for me, when I left my first marriage, I hadn't really established a strong self-concept at that time. So for me, it was about not really recapturing who I was before. It was actually working out who I was for the first time. And that in itself was really challenging because there was nothing that I could go back to. There were no pillars of my personality previously that I could go back to and take on again, because when I was living by myself, I did everything I could to keep as busy as I could. Before that relationship happened, I focused on, why am I not in a relationship? I want to be in a relationship. I'm lonely by myself. And I really didn't understand the concept of building a relationship with yourself. Like, it wasn't even on my radar at all. So when you're in that messy middle, this is almost like an extension of that messy middle, really. But you are not necessarily mourning the loss of the relationship of the person you are with or have been with. You are mourning a loss of something that is much bigger than that. So it could be that you're mourning the loss that you weren't able to change them or fix them. And it's worth noting at this point that if you were in a relationship where you constantly wanted to change the other person, or they wanted to change you, or you felt you had to change yourself in order to get through that relationship, that for you, if you start dating again, is going to be something that is a red flag. That means it's not a fit. It's like going into a dress shop, for example, trying on a dress and it not fitting you, and you immediately thinking, well, I've got to change myself to get into this dress. Actually, no, that dress doesn't fit you, but there are places or other dresses that will fit you and you'll look amazing in them. So it's not about feeling like change needs to happen. Obviously, within a relationship, there is compromise, but wanting to change somebody means that you are not an aligned fit in the first place. There'll always be things that you want to, like, shift slightly. Like, do they have to put their socks next to the washing basket? Do they have to put their plate on top of the dishwasher? Things like that. Obviously, that's fine to be like, for goodness sake, could you just put it in? But other more defining elements of a personality, that's not what you want to be doing. That's not what you want for yourself. So you are not necessarily just grieving. And when I say grieving, I don't mean overtaken with sadness. I mean that grief encompasses a huge amount of different emotions: anger, resentment, regret, depression, sadness. But you can also go the other side of that, where you are trying to rush into the next chapter because you want to get to that stage where you're settled again. But this is a journey, I'm afraid. And I'm one of the world's most impatient people. Even now, you would think that I might have gained some patience, but I'm not particularly patient. I own that now and I allow it to sit with me. But it's very difficult to not feel a sense of, we didn't do those things we planned together. It's a sense of, we never got the relationship that I'd built in my head. we hadn't done the things that we had talked about. Things between us had changed so much that actually the relationship that I initially got into didn't exist anymore. And obviously relationships go through their own eras and things do change, but if you are changing and that leads you to going in separate directions, it could be a sadness that you kind of never came back together again in the same way. So one of the most important things when you're going through this is, and you're going to hate it as much as I do, sitting with it. You give yourself time, because it's one of the most important steps that you will do that people want to rush through. This is like stepping stones over a river. And you cannot just leap to the last stepping stone. That's not how it works. You have to go through the steps. And if you don't go through the steps, what you will generally find is later on, something happens that makes you realize you didn't do all the steps. And that's my situation, is some of the things have come back round again because I didn't do it properly the last time. So when it comes to the moving through, and it's not even a straight line, it's not even from stepping stone to stepping stone, it is moving around and through all of these different stages until they are done and you get to move on. Giving yourself time is so important. Being okay with yourself is so important. We are much better at helping and supporting other people, excuse me. Oh, can't promise you that will be edited out. Excuse me. Right, I'm back. So, giving yourself time. It's not the easiest thing, but date yourself. Rebuild that concept of yourself with yourself. There is nobody who will spend as much time with you as you will spend with yourself. It might feel like it if you have a child that follows you to the toilet all the time, or a pet who can't equally bear you going to the toilet. I usually have two little followers when I go, and my children are grown up and it's not them. So having that time, that space, kill the noise. It's so, so, so important. I cannot stress enough how important this particular part of it is. Listen to podcasts, make playlists that make you feel good, go for walks, do the journaling, do the affirmations, make time for you. Go and do things that you love. Make your Sparks Joy list. Do the stuff on your Sparks Joy list on a regular basis. You have a view near you that makes you feel calm, go do it. And learn to do those things for yourself, by yourself. One of the biggest parts of this is if you walk into another relationship again, you haven't taken the steps, you haven't done this bit properly, it will come back and bite you at some point. And that might be when you first start dating, that might be 20 years into the future. But I can tell you from experience, this will come back if you haven't done it properly. So it's about being able to rebuild your self-confidence and your happiness. It's about searching inside for the validation rather than outside. And realistically, the time that you are best served at having another relationship, if that's what you decide that you want to do, is when you are not looking for another relationship because you realise you're quite happy and contented by yourself. That only a real right fit will make it right for you. Only somebody who is bringing certain things to your table will be right for you. That's when you're ready for a relationship. There is no point and value in getting into a relationship to get over the toxic relationship that you've had. There really isn't. It's so important to rebuild that time for yourself. Go see a movie on your own, go and walk around a National Trust on your own, go and do some things that you've always wanted to do, go and visit or see somewhere, but find the happiness within you before you're looking for other people. I'm not suggesting that you become a hermit and you never see anybody and you don't do anything with your friends. What I'm saying is, don't hide in seeing friends and doing things with them and seeing your family. Don't hide in those things, because eventually this is something that has to happen at some point in your life. So you might as well do it now, so that when you get into the next relationship, it's great and you are you as an individual coming together with another person and leaning in, rather than becoming so integrated with them you lose all sense of yourself. So sometimes you are going to feel lonely, and I'm going to ask you to sit with that anyway, because it's in those moments that we then start to work out how we want to manage that situation. And it's not about distracting yourself all the time. It's not about lying there watching Netflix on the telly. Find things that you enjoy. Crafting things. It could be doing some things to your house. It could be painting. It could be decorating your home. It could be redesigning. There's so many things that are out there that you could do for yourself. And when it comes to the relationship that you no longer have, that is a really good period of time to start thinking about what wasn't what I wanted. What within that relationship as it came to an end were the things that made me go, no, thank you. I don't want that. Because that's really important, because you're going to need to look out for those things. It's about building your intuition, not just for relationships, but for everything. For everything you're doing, how does this feel to me? Does this feel like the right thing to do for me? Am I happy with this for me? And constantly checking in. So the best way to find out where your intuition sits, I know that I'm putting my hand on my heart space, but also I'm very aware that my intuition sits here. So if I'm not okay, my shoulder starts to seize up and get very, very stiff and tense. I need to keep an eye on that, because that means some things are happening that I don't like, don't enjoy, aren't right for me. So I have to listen to my body, because actually, although we think everything that happens is in your mind and your brain, it's not. Your body gets everything first. It's like your outer wall. So you will find that you generally get ill when you're not okay. You find that you get tension and pain. Like, there's so many studies linked to long-term pain, long-term illness being linked to trauma or challenge from when you were younger, or experiences that you've had in your adulthood. So if you actually do a full body scan and think about, how healthy is each area of my body, then you will find that there are some areas that you are struggling with, because your body is holding some of the negative experiences you've had, the negative thinking that you get. Our bodies are amazing if we listen to them. They are our alert system. The difficulty that we've got is when the alert system turns into panic, anxiety, all of those sorts of things. The alert has to, I'm so sorry, I've got something in my eye. The alert has to be treated as data. It's information that tells you something is not okay. It doesn't mean the worst scenario is about to happen. It's just a moment for you to get curious and go, oh, okay, I'm not okay at the moment. What's been going on for me that has led me to not be okay? Right. What information is coming out for me for that? What is super important for me to become aware is not okay for me? What do I want to do about it? Do I need to have a conversation with somebody? What are the things I can do in this situation? And just getting curious and asking yourself the questions. Going through this absolutely doesn't mean that you won't feel challenge, change, difficulty, stuckness. It's about being okay to sit with them and say, hi, what is it you want to tell me? What is going on with me? And I know that that might sound really woo-woo and really spiritual, but actually, it's just science. If everything is energy, which it is, then the first thing it's going to hit before it can get inside is outside. So it's important that you understand how to listen to your body. And realistically, the only way that you can build that is to go, how am I feeling? How am I doing? What's going on with me? And listen. Listen for the answers. Listen for the thoughts inside your brain which tell you how you're doing. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. This section of toxic relationships where you're starting to extricate and rebuild, I get how hard it is. I get how challenging it is, but I also get the importance of the things that I'm talking to you about. As always, feel free to reach out to me if you've got any questions. Leave a comment on YouTube or your podcast platform. Let me know how you found this, what you got out of it. And if there's anything I can do to help you, then please do reach out. And I will speak to you next time. Take care.